Greetings and welcome to the third version of the Hyperpiano DSP project. This one's been going on for well over a decade, and previous versions have been more tangible and physical in nature. And this one is physical, but it's more abstract, and it consists of two different computers. One of them is running the touch interface, and the other one is running the audio system. The touch interface computer is running a Unity program that I wrote myself and did all the scripting for the interaction and stuff like that. And basically all of the data then is compiled into OSC data and then sent over a point-to-point Ethernet connection to the computer running pure data, which then plays the audio or changes the audio as I'm controlling it. I really enjoy basically playing inside the piano, and essentially this is sort of an abstract version of the inside of a piano where I can get into the sort of strings and change parameters and things like this. So what you're seeing here is basically the abstract representation of the inside of a piano in 8 regions of 4 semitones, a total of 32 semitones completely. And any one of those regions can be assigned to any one of 5 different instruments. There's also a ground timbre, which is basically a grand piano, and that essentially is where you see the white color. That will be basically the grand piano sound. I can then assign an instrument to any one of those 8 regions by pressing the Set Single button, pressing the color that I want, and then I can then manipulate the control as I need to in order to be able to change the pitch. I can then do this for any one of the other 7 regions with any of the other controls that I have. And I have 2 copies of the Mutable Instruments Plates oscillator. I have one Carpless Strong synthesizer, and I have another sound font player, and then also a sampler. In addition to this, down below are the controls for those particular instruments, and I've simplified them to only have 4 or 5 different parameters or so apiece. There's also a bank of effects featuring a decimator, ring modulation, filter, delay, and a reverb. We'll talk about how I patch through all those things later on. Last, we have the sampler control, which has a bend, has a sample overview with a range that I can basically manipulate, and a reverse control, as well as buffer management and things like that. There are a total of 4 pages, including the key regions page that you're seeing right here. And when we switch to the sliders page, I can then use the slider to control any parameter that I want as well. And the method is quite similar. In this case, I'm going to be using the ring modulator that I know is set up already in this patch. And I can click the Set Single button and then press the control, and then press the control that I want it to be linked to. And then as you can see, it's now controlling the ring modulator basically at that point. In there, and I can have control of it with the slider. The third page is called the Mod Players page, and this is basically where I have essentially modulation being controlled by low frequency oscillators that are reading from tables in pure data. And I can basically assign to these similar in a manner as I was doing for the sliders and the key regions as well. So I can simply just press Set Single, press the assigning disk basically for the appropriate mod player, and then press the destination, and then it routes to that particular destination and then controls that parameter. So in this case, I'm controlling ring modulation automatically. The last section is called the mix routing page. This is a more recent addition, and in this way what I can do is send the signal from any of the outputs, including the ground or bass output, the grand piano patch that you heard, and route them to any of the effects that I have here. And I have a decimator, ring modulator, filter, delay, and reverb. And I can route them to any of those combinations. All I have to do is press patch connection, and then I can press the source, then I press the destination, and then again, if I press again, then I'm basically setting another source and then the next destination. So for example, if I want to patch from one thing to an effect, and then from the effect to the main output, I can just simply tap in this particular order. And that's basically a rough idea of how this worked. This project took me about roughly 6 months to a year to really kind of get most of the programming and things like that done in C# and refine it a little bit better but it was an interesting challenge for sure. Thanks for watching.